like we are picking up audio. Sweet.
Oh, wow. I liked your profile, David.
Oh yeah.
That was nice coverage.
Oh. I am disappointed in the turnout so far. This is upsetting.
Maybe Monday's not the day.
Apparently not, but that's when the Multicultural Club wanted us to do it. So.
When you were out of town later in the week, right?
Mhm.
Were you out of town later? I thought
No,
Oh.
they just
Oh.
yeah. So
Ooh. I'm
oh
sorry.
well, it happens. Hopefully we'll get some wanderers for the end.
I was just in RAs to see if they can muster up some attendance.
I wonder if Dr. Barman doesn't have creative writing in his block either.
No,
so
he does
doesn't
not,
have his
yeah.
captive audience, kind of.
Yeah. I think Monday. I think it is just Monday's not necessarily a good day for it.
Good learning experience.
Yep. I'm just surprised we don't have more multicultural club people here. It is their club week. So, yeah, Jonah.
We have three. Emily and Sarah. is
Okay. Oh, you guys are part of the multicultural club.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. Well,
So
then
where's
that's
Twisted Ink?
where's
David?
Twisted Ink? I'm disappointed with them now. I just gotta start shifting blame everywhere, you know.
And I think some posters were kind of inked up a little bit like too, so.
It was slow to the draw on getting the posters up, unfortunately. But I think that's in part because, you know, we're doing it the second week of the block, and yeah, it happens. Well, we can get things started then. I'll send out a few notifications for just reminders to people.
As you want to do minutes?
But I mean, we are supposed to have prize support for tonight for attendance as usual. So there you go. For showing up, you get to be one of the few that are in the drawing for prizes. So huzzah!
Do we have the paper for that?
I do. I will get a paper up for that. So
No. There's some pretty good phones here, because there was like a really funny one. I don't know if there's a couple or it was based off a video game. I don't know if it's really cool. And some of them said random here often had like stories. Homer's World. Like beautiful. Yeah, I think that was
okay. So we'll put the sign-up sheet over by the pizza so that, you know, people don't have to get up in front of the camera to just say hi.
Yeah, they also did record it from
Okay. So you can put your name, your 8,000 number if you have one, and then whether or not you want to be in the drawing. But I will start things off today. Hello all. Welcome to Block 6 Poetry Night, Twisted Ink, and the UMW Multicultural Club in tandem with each other. It is, as you all know, Black History Month. So in addition to the regular, showing of people's own poetry and your favorite poetry from whatever genre, we encourage people to pick out some of their favorite poems by Black authors as well. If you don't have anything in particular that you want to read, I brought several books from the library here that are just anthologies of poems. 3 of them are black poems. So awesome stuffs. We got Maya Angelou, great, fantastic author. Same with Audre Lorde. Can't recommend Audre Lorde enough. And this is just a whole compendium of her collected works. And then we have some poems from Black Africa. So these are some indigenous African poems, which is awesome. And then of course, I saw Frost on the shelf. It's not for Black History Month for him, but you can never go bad with Frost. So, but I will start us off today by reading the Poetry Society's poem of the day. As soon as I can get it pulled up. And of course, there's pizza if you guys are hungry. And yeah. Poem of the day. It is called No Images by William Warren Cooney. She does not know her beauty. She thinks her brown body has no glory. If she could dance naked under palm trees and see her image in the river, she would know. But there are no palm trees on the street, and dishwater gives back no images. Yeah. Excellent. Jonah, you got some works lined up for us?
I do.
Perfect.
A few of my own and a few by others.
It's for like literature readings, you snap your fingers instead of clap. I don't know why. Tradition, I suppose.
All right. Just to start off, I'll read a work of my own called Words of the Erraphic. It's a bit of a sci-fi poem. Aquatic swaths of baby blue span its crystalline entirety, encased within the old world, a passage to surrounding seas, a realm of growth and decay, of the land, air, and tropical depths. Since the dawn of its existence, through millennium of human squabble, the old Erraphic bears no shortage of invaluable treasures enclosed in its crystalline expanse, spanning from the marble cliffs and beaches of Greca and that cluster of Serbian colonies, to the basalt cliffs and snow-white beaches of the east, sulphur layers of ocean pile over a mile above the abyssal plain, a home for few amid man-made tombs once put to sea, save sparse balls of fish and the porpoises and reptiles who covet them, a contrast to flowering reefs and forests on shelves of white marble and black basalt, dwelled by buoyant bodies, throwing corals paint the powder blue expanse up in the seas of Samia, while sleek stands of kelp dominate the Mezzanine Sea, temperate eastern passage to polar waters, hunters prowl high and low, sleek jackins of Factinus, paddled plesiosaurs, mosasaurs, and durodon, diving birds and reptiles of Theran skies, the nets of terrestrials, blooms of jaded mackerel bend at the will of feisty sharks in the old atomic water near the ruins of Netani. Mangroves of Sumatra and Chatrika spill arboreal debris into turquoise flats, while wreckage of Savuka wars, past, present, and future, invite opportunistic homebodies to dwell among ashen youngsters entombed within, in glass-like expanses of turquoise flats, in the cobalt abyss of the high seas. The temperate shores of Latvia and Serbia line the northern reach. Wooded slows roll into blue-green torrents, salting beaches of mud and granite sands, home to spotted brown seals where scattered human settlements distance themselves from the coast. One may stroll upon an artifact or two, relics of bygone eras, relics of recent squabbles that have claimed so many teens and twenties, such that it is overlooked amid modern cycles of human growth and decay. Eastern horizons bear witness to a once common sight, the natural leviathan of Theran skies, pterosaurs dwarfing any life form known to modern earthling airways, once a stable transport for some nomadic peoples, before the pact of mutual leaders, before the forever wars, the Savuka wars. A rare sight they are in the modern expanse of white clouds and glacial blue. Since the dawn of its existence, through millennium of human squabble, the old Rafka has hosted no shortage of invaluable treasure, of tales of growth and decay, of traces past, present, and future, spanning its crystalline entirely, its swaths of baby blue. And that is all.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay. So this one is Sun and Her Flower from Rupi Kaur. This one, I think, this one does not have a title. So let me read it real quick. So, I am of the earth, and to the earth I shall return once more. Life and death are old friends, and I am the conversation between them. I am their late night chatter, their laughter and tears. What is there to be afraid of? I am the gift they give to each other. This place never belonged to me, anyways. I have always been theirs. To hate is an easy, lazy thing, but to love takes strength. Everyone has, but not all are willing to practice. There we go.
What you got one?
I do, yeah.
Excellent.
This is from one of my favorite African American women poets, Gwendolyn Brooks. I was going to read Kitchenette Building, but I know that you've already read it, David, so I picked a different one. This is her collected works called Blacks. The poem is called Still Do I Keep My Look, My Identity. Each body has its art, its precious prescribed pose, that even in passion's droll contortions, waltzes, or push of pain, or when a grief has stabbed or hatred hacked, is its and nothing else's. Each body has its pose. No other stock that is irrevocable, perpetual, and it's to keep, in castle or in shack, with rags or robes. Through good, nothing, or ill, and even in death a body like no other, on any hill or plain, or crawling cot, or gentle for the lilyless hasty paw, having twisted, gagged, and then sweet ceased to bother, shows the old personal art, the look, shows what it showed at baseball, what it showed in school.
Thank you. So I'm gonna read a couple here from Maya Angelou. The first one that I'll be reading is Alone. This one kind of struck me as I was reading through. So, lying thinking last night how to find my soul a home, where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. There are some millionaires with money they can't use. Their wives run around like banshees, their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone, but nobody, nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. Now if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering. The wind is going to blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan, because nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. And then this one is called I Almost Remember, again by Maya Angelou. I almost remember smiling some years past, even combing the ceiling with the teeth of a laugh, longer ago than the smile. Open night, news-eyed, I watched channels of hunger, written on children's faces, bursting bellies balloon in the air of my day room. There was a smile I recall, now jellied in, I never yester glow. Even a laugh that tickled the tits of heaven, older than the smile. In graphs afraid, I see the black-brown hands and white, thin, yellowed fingers, slipping from the ledge of life, forgotten by all but hatred, ignored by all but disdain. On late evenings, when quiet inhabits my garden, when the grass sleeps and streets are only paths for silent mist, I seem to remember smiling. And then I think I have a friend from Helena who's watching the stream who wanted me to read this one. It's one of his favorite pieces by it's The Ed Wishes for Cloths of Heaven by W.B. Yeats. So one of his more iconic poems. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. Yeah. So I think for now, people are digesting. If you guys have more, feel free to step up and introduce the poem when you want. But for the moment, I think people are going to take a moment to eat, socialize, and we'll pick up from there in a bit. Okay, everyone. Welcome back from that nice little break. Convincing eating and general debauchery here. So I'll open this out. Actually, I'll open this out with my piece, and then I'll palate cleanse with some frost before turning it back over to Jonah. So this piece is one by myself, termed Shard Heart by. It's a working title and a working piece, but it's an older one that I recently dug back into from a D&D campaign that I was in a while back. This is for some background of the poem, this is from a character. My character was a silver dragon barbarian from the north named Silver, and she was a skald and performed this. So I'm not going to sing it for you, but I will read it for you. So, Shardheart by Silver, myself. In flurry of snow, in the drifting glade, in midwinter's chill, is there someone to see the love that I bear, the love that aches for the sun? In my frozen home, amid sharpened peaks, beside a lake of ice, can there be any love, a love that can thaw the chill that clings to my soul? Even as the sun embraces the land and warms it to green, will my heart embrace a love so strong that it may be my son? In my heart of ice, in my soul of loneliness, in my hour of despair, has my soul found a love for ages, a love to thaw my hope? That's it. It's a short little one. And then to get us out of the sappiness, here's Frost. So I don't know if it's any less sappy, but because it's Frost, it's better. The sound of trees. I wonder about the trees. Why do we wish to bear forever the noise of these, more than another noise, so close to our dwelling place? We suffer them by the day, till we lose all measure of pace and fixity in our joys, and acquire a listening air. They are that talks of going, but never gets away, and that talks no less for knowing, as it grows wiser and older. And now it means to stay. My feet tug at the floor, and my head sways to my shoulder, sometimes when I watch the trees sway, from the window or the door. I shall set forth for somewhere. I shall make the reckless choice someday when they are in voice, and tossing so as to scare the white clouds over them on. I shall have less to say, but I shall be gone. All right, Jonah.
So this one here, it's not a poem. It's actually a letter written by one Justin Lee of New Zealand to the New Zealand police regarding a speeding ticket. This is a real letter that he wrote to the police. All right. Justin Lee, redacted address in Auckland, 27th January 2004, to the New Zealand Police Infringement Bureau, PO Box 9147, Wellington. Good morning. Infringement notice NS3735700. Yesterday I was presented with the above infringement notice, copy attached for your records, while returning home from the Parachute Music Festival at Mystery Creek near Hamilton over the long Auckland anniversary weekend. I had a most excellent weekend, but that is not why I'm writing to you at this time. Unfortunately, there are a couple of irregularities with the infringement notice that are causing me some consternation, and hopefully you will clear them up, or preferably forget about the whole thing entirely. Firstly, the date of offense is listed as the 23rd of June 1974, with the time being at or around 6:30 in the evening. This is of grave concern to me because I was not issued a driver's license until sometime in 1990, and have no desire to be charged with driving while not legally licensed. As I do not have a clear recollection of very much at all before I was 3.5 years old, so I rang my mom to see if she remembered what I was doing that day. She said, coincidentally, I was born that day. Mom mentioned that I was born at around 5 o'clock in the evening on that day in Porira, which is not far from Wellington. She also said Porira was a bustling suburb of young, low-income people who were trying to get ahead. Back in the 70s, people were coming to terms with oil shocks, high inflation, and wage freezes, but that's not important right now. For me to have traveled from Porira to the foot of the Bombay Hills, just out of Auckland by 6:30, I would have had to have crawled into the first car in the hospital parking lot and headed for Auckland at around 1,000 kilometers per hour. For this reason, it is entirely impossible that the constable who clocked me back in 1974 was holding his laser equipment upside down, and instead of doing 160 kilometers per hour, as per the infringement notice, is more likely I was doing 911 kilometers per hour. This is where it starts to get really strange. The car I must have crawled into had the same license plate number as the one I have now, EH924, according to the infringement notice. However, my car is a dark gray Nissan Bluebird SSS with dual cup holders, 1800 cc's of grunt, air conditioning, and electric windows. You'll notice that a time travel option is not included on this model, so that rules out any Back to the Future issues, and the car I was driving back then could not have been the one I drive today. This is clarified by the infringement notice, which states that the vehicle was a Honda Saloon. How this relates to my Nissan Bluebird, I cannot fathom. I can only hypothesize that back in 1974, the first range of prototype Hondas had an automated number plate changing mechanism, like on the A-Team, which were used to avoid parking tickets and facilitate safer getaways from burglaries, armed holdups, and the like. So to recap, it appears that on my birthday, on June 23rd, 1974, I crawled out of the maternity ward, hijacked a seriously high-powered Honda Saloon with an automated number plate changing mechanism, drove to Auckland at close to Mach 1, was pulled over approaching Bombay Hills, and unwittingly changed the automated number plate changing mechanism to show the same number as a car I would own almost 30 years later. The chance of selecting the same number plate is a mere 1 in 308,915,776. So quite conceivable. I am I'm currently residing at the address listed at the top of this letter. I expect you want to apprehend me fairly shortly now that we've established that I may have committed the following offenses. Grand theft auto. I probably stole the Honda as my parents drove a white Ford Cortina at that stage. Driving without a license, driving at a ludicrous speed using a motor vehicle, evading the law using an automated number plate changing mechanism. If you could provide a clearer indication as to why the date of offense is the same as my birthday, and why the vehicle make and type bears no resemblance to the number plate listed on the infringement notice, it would be appreciated. Mind you, I wouldn't be too disappointed if we agreed to let this one go. I could really use $120 as I'm lowering my Nissan, installing excessively noisy wastegate, and boring it out for better performance in the street drags down Tiraganji Drive and around Weymouth. Thank you for considering my submission. I look forward to hearing from you. Regards, Justin Lee. Now, the police sent a reply. 30th March 2004 to Justin Lee from Dr. Address in Auckland. Dear Sir, infringement notice PN 3735700. I refer to your correspondence regarding the above infringement notice. After careful consideration of your comments and the circumstances surrounding the issue of this notice, it has been decided on this occasion to waive the offense. Accordingly, you are no longer required to pay the infringement fee. Yours faithfully, signed by for Senior Sergeant Brian Healy. So, I've got another really weird letter that I can read later.
So I had a couple more requests from folks who couldn't make it tonight. So these next two are both by Tupac Shakur. So this one is I cry. Sometimes when I'm alone, I cry, because I am on my own. The tears I cry are bitter and warm. They flow with life, but take no form. I cry because my heart is torn. I find it difficult to carry on. If I had an ear to confide in, I would cry among my treasured friend. But who do you know that stops that long to hear another carry on? The world moves fast, and it would rather pass by than to stop and see what makes one cry, so painful and sad. And sometimes I cry, and no one cares about why. And then the other one is The Rose That Grew from Concrete, again by Tupac Shakur. Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's law is wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Live long the rose that grew from the concrete when no one else ever cared. Yeah.
All right, I'm reading Kitchenette Building. It's my favorite poem
It's a
by
great
Gwendolyn
one.
Brooks. It's so good. We are the things of dry hours and the involuntary plan, grayed in and gray. Dream makes a giddy sound, not strong, like rent, feeding a wife, satisfying a man. But could a dream send up through onion fumes its white and violet, fight with fried potatoes and yesterday's garbage ripening in the hall, flutter, or sing an aria down these rooms? Even if we were willing to let it in, had time to warm it, keep it very clean, anticipate a message, let it begin, we wonder. But not well, not for a minute. Since number 5 is out of the bathroom now, we think of lukewarm water, hope to get in it.
Ooh, you got one picked out, huh? Excellent.
I'm gonna send the chair.
Yeah.
I picked one that was off of the Tribe book, and it's called Aaron or Elephant. Elephant who brings death. Elephant, a spirit in the bush. With his single hand, he can pull 2 palm trees to the ground. If he had 2 hands, he would tear the heavens like an old rag. The spirit who eats dogs. The spirit who eats rams. The spirit who eats a whole palm fruit with its thorns. With his 4 mortal legs, he tramples down the grass. Wherever he walks, the grass is forbidden to stand up again. An elephant is not a load of for an old man, nor a young man either.
Thank you. Let's see. I think we deserve to hear another one from this. I thought it was a pretty cool one. Let me see if I can find the one I was looking at earlier. Yes. Here we go. So this one is called Young Shepherd Bathing His Feet. Only the short, broad, splayed feet moved, feet that had trodden over soft soil, sand, plowed veld, mountain rocks, and along narrow tracks of winter clay and dust of summer roads. The short, broad, splayed feet moved in and out. The stumpy toes stretched wide, apart and closed together, then opened wide in ecstasy. It feels good to have your feet washed, you know? You need another minute, Jonah?
Just a second.
Yeah, you got another minute. I'll read another one of my older pieces. let's see what I got here. So, this one, from the same campaign as that old one, this one was kind of a summary of, this was my character doing their scalding as the storytelling of the actual story that we were playing. So this is kind of what was written after the game was done. And it's based on the campaign Age of Ashes. So if you ever hear about that, that's where this is from. Though, of course, a lot of it is ours. In the morning, through glistening snow, I see you rise with the sun. Your wings, the irreproachable sheen, like the gentle flow of the spring thaw, O glorious daughter of Vishanti. In lands of the runes I saw you, your visage wondrous and terrible. Yet I alone did not shy away, and so great the beauty of your primal form that only your urging kept my quest. The land of devils did near consume us, my kinsman spared me from gruesome end. Therein I learned his blessing, bronze blood filled with thunder, Zezko, named by sacred lineage. Together our quest of visions led to a beacon of strange light, Breach Hill, a city gift of wizard, shadowed by the citadel Al-Tarim, the ruin called Hell Knight Hill. In the call for adventurers, we found the company, the winged devil of the coast, Liko, death on wings, and small of stature but great in knowledge, Chagrin, master of wizardry and magic. Against fire and treachery we fought, till gates of elven lands recovered, and dreadful red Dahak rebuffed, his fires and fury staved forever by his warden's ire. I seek to now forever still in me the fears within my heart, enkindled by the flame of creation. I must quench the frozen tears of slumber under Vishanti's knowing gaze. That's it.
This piece is a poem I wrote called This August Shower in Medical Lake. And for those of you who don't know, Medical Lake, Washington, it's about 20 miles west of Spokane. It's where I graduated from high school. So, most unexpected is this phenomenon, this onslaught of sweet fluid, this chilled awakening from the semi-arid August haze upon the sun-baked streets of Medical Lake. I think I left my prized raincoat merely a block or so down the street for a trivial outing to the auto shop in a sponge-like jacket where I entrust my metal wagon, my mobile cocoon of steel and glass, to a dry night amid the alluring must of rubber and oil, meshed with encroaching purity from the earthy downpour I shall brave. The rhythmic pad of innumerable droplets, heavy tracers of the withering gray ceiling, floods every sense as I stand by the doorway under a rattling wooden canopy, immersed all too soon in the break from August haze. Precious drops of airborne dew accumulate on powder blue walls around me, streaming down hardwood corner posts across coats of paint on the brink of chipping. It pools upon my foggy specs, tracing my red nose and lips, matting my frizzled hair, sending a welcome chill through my scalp. It pads and tickles my ruffled jacket. It chimes on metal posts and ruffled sidewalk puddles as fluttering maples and saturated turf unleash the purest of earthen perfumes. If not for this quenching onslaught, I would walk in silent, bare to the senses the familiar sights of home, of the chiming blue metal walls of the hardware store, and its billowing aroma of wood chips, and its trickling storefront accessories, or the streaming yellow-trimmed window panes of the old red pizza parlor, a venue of bygone days for me. Only amid this chilled awakening from the semi-arid August haze is such an absence of summer frolic not alarming, when neighborhood youngsters cease to traverse these sun-baked streets on scooters and bicycles, or when the joyful chirps of birds and children yield to the rhythmic padding of airborne tracers. To this my senses yield, numb to its human encroachment upon my shoes, numb to its pools upon my specs, and the welcome chill through my scalp as it pads smooth my frizzled hair. This I would evade any other day, encased in my mobile cocoon of steel and glass, numb to the precious droplets of airborne dew, and the purest of earthen perfumes, for it is most unexpected, for it is most unappreciated, this chilled awakening this August shower in Medical Lake. Thank you.
All right. And kind of to celebrate the very grounded poetry of Audre Lorde, for those of you who might not necessarily know, Audre Lorde likes her mythology, but she also likes very grounded, visceral language in her poems. So this one I had not read before today, but it's called "Berlin is Hard on Colored Girls," and I felt it was very grounded language. Perhaps a strange woman walks down from the corner into my bedroom. Wasps nest behind her ears. She is eating a half-ripe banana with brown flecks the shape of a lizard. Kittiwakes in her hair. Her armpits smell of celery, perhaps. She is speaking my tongue in a different tempo, the rhythm of gray whales praying, dark as a granite bowl. Perhaps she is a stone. I cross her borders at midnight. The guards confused by a dream. Mother Christopher's warm bread. An end to war, perhaps. She is selling a season's ticket to the Berlin Opera, printed on the lid of a dim box, slowing the growth of rambler roses. Perhaps ice saints have warned us. The tender forgiveness of contrasts, metal silken thighs, a beached boat. Perhaps she is masquerading in the American flag, in the hair-bouncing step of a jaunty flower bandit. Perhaps. A nightingale waits in the alley next to the yellow phone booth. Under my pillow, a banana skin is wilting. Do you want to read anything for us tonight? No. Okay, it's all good. Did anyone else have any pieces they would like to read?
Can I have you read what?
Absolutely. What would you like me to read?
We'll try this one. I was going to say Fiddler's Green, but since it's Black History.
I mean, Fiddler's Green's a good one too. Yeah. So, this one is called A Buffalo Soldier's Saga. Buffalo Soldier, where are you from? Buffalo Soldier, are you on the run? I come from a land far across the sea. Dagger a warrior, tall, proud, and free. I come from a land with wonders to behold, full of creatures wild, free, and bold. A land where my brothers betrayed me, trussed me up like a caged monkey, sold me to the white devils in the square, then piled me into a ship to nowhere. I come from a terrible crossing of sea. For days I could not eat or see the sky. In pain and suffering I thought I would die. Upon reaching this land I could but lie. I come from a market where I was but chattel. They paraded me out like I was fine cattle. How much do you bid for this fine buck? My whole fate depended on who bought me luck. They hauled me off, bound to the plantation. Massa James beat and starved me to submission. I picked for him a fine cotton crop, but when I ran, I couldn't stop. I joined the Blue Coats and fought Johnny Reb, from White's Ranch, Larkinsville, and the Gap. With bloody bare hands I fought for my ground. This dagger a warrior ran old Dixie down. Now that the big war is over, Sioux called me the Buffalo Warrior. With the 9th Cavalry I do ride, my horse and good men by my side. I long for my family and tribesmen who died. Killing Indians is sad and I can't abide. I am still running with nowhere to hide. I'll ride till I die with good men by my side. Ride, Buffalo Soldier, ride. Into history ride with good men by your side. That's an excellent piece. Yeah. So yeah, I think that we'll do a little exit. So for the camera and for everyone, we'll call the Block 6 Poetry Night here at a close at a few minutes to 7. So thank you all for coming. Take however much pizza you want. And I hope to see many of you for our Block 8 Poetry Night, or Block 7, depending on how we land it. It depends, but we try for about every other block for these. So thanks again for coming.
Thanks, David.